Hey, what's up, guys? Darren Waldy here with Race Day Vlogs and Wide Open Racing, coming to you from Pennsboro Speedway, the legendary track in the hills of West Virginia. Featured on Dale Jr.'s Lost Speedway show on Peacock, and rumored to be being revitalized for next summer to have racing here as soon as next summer. But we'll see about that. I'll probably do some more update videos on how it's going here and if they're doing any work or what's going on. Down here in the middle, you can see this is a go-kart track. They race here, I think, monthly with mini wedges, which is a kind of a regional go-kart entry for kids to get into the racing area, and then they have actual regular go-karts that race here as well. So we'll do some updates on this facility, on what's going on here in the future. But I'm super excited about the Chicago Street Race from NASCAR for the Cup Series, especially. So first off, Shane Van Gisbergen, that's how you say his name. Go on YouTube, type in Supercars Australia Racing Series, and just sit back and watch his highlight reel. His burnout from when he won the championship either last year or the year before was amazing. Put it up again. Well, first off, they had the trophy on the track at the start-finish line. He did donuts around it, pulls up to the wall, puts something to block the pedal to where it's still spinning the wheels, gets out and goes and gets the trophy, and while it's still during the burnout, dude's crazy. He's an incredible driver. So we'll talk real quick about that series, the Supercar series. It's not V8 Supercars. They changed that several years ago. Before it was V8 Supercars, it was like the Australian Touring Car Championship, ATTC or ATCC, something like that. I'm not sure. But it's got a long storied history over there. They raced Camaros and Mustangs just like what our Cup cars do. Prior to that, they raced Holdens. Holden is a GM brand that GM has shut down. It was Australian-built GM cars, and super fast, super awesome. So if you ever saw the Pontiac G8 or the Chevy SS, those were based off Holden Commodores. They previously raced Ford Falcons, which they stopped producing here in the United States a long time ago, but in Australia, Ford Motor Company down there continued to use that brand down there. But now, Mustangs, Camaros, just like we do, they're in a new generation this year of cars, and from what I could tell, a lot of people are not happy with a lot of how that development is taking place with those cars, but hopefully they get it all adjusted. Shane, two-time defending champion down there in that series, isn't off to as great of a start as he had the last 2 years. We'll talk a little bit about one of those starts to one of those years here in a second on his background. But Supercars, a lot of fun, super aggressive. They do street courses. They do purpose-built road courses. They do different formats than what we do. They'll have super sprint weekends where they'll have 3 races in one weekend. They'll have sprint races. They'll have enduros like the Bathurst 1000 at Mount Panorama. Amazing race I'd love to go to. Where they have a co-driver and they have to swap out. In previous years, they were allowed to use 2 main drivers in the same car. So like your teammate could be your teammate in the car. They've since done away with that, and you have to have a main driver in your regular car and then another driver. A lot of retired drivers like Craig Lowndes and Garth Tander come back and race in that race. Just a lot of good talent down there, like they keep talking about. And so when Shane said the top 10 from down there in the points right now could have come up and raced like he did this past weekend, potentially won the race, probably true, but he is the class of the field right now. There have been a lot of great drivers there. There has been Scott McLaughlin, who we know from IndyCar racing right now, race winner for Penske there. He raced for Penske in the Supercars before Penske pulled out of the Supercars. There has been Jamie Whincup, 7-time champion, who is car owner for Shane Van Gisbergen down there. Man, so many. Marcus Ambrose is a good one. Dick Johnson, a guy named Peter Brock, who's a national legend down there, national treasure. The trophy that you win for the Bathurst 1000 is actually the Peter Brock trophy. But they've had a lot of quality drivers, and we just know Marcus and Scott now through IndyCars. But the talent that he displayed there was incredible. There were a lot of things that were in his favor. He's got more wet weather driving experience. He's used to that style of car. Like Denny Hamlin said, he's probably years ahead of us in his development in that style of a car. Might be true, but he was sitting on the opposite side of the car, shifting with the opposite hand, didn't have the side mirrors like he's used to. he's used to a very different style of car. So he adapted very, very quickly. Most of the Cup drivers probably would not go down to Australia and go to Sydney on the purpose-built racetrack there and compete in the top 10. It just probably would not happen that quickly. Just in a one-off, getting in the car, having never driven it other than maybe a practice at a different track. So yeah, he did phenomenal in that. But the stars did line up for him. They picked him for this race for a reason, because they knew this would be their best chance for success. He went from 18th to winning the race in 20, 25, 30 laps, something around there, making moves and actually racing and driving the car. It wasn't just dive bombing it in and moving people out of the way. So super duper impressive. Will he come to the United States? My guess, for a lot of people I've been chatting with on Facebook, is that 2025 he'll be here. He's under contract this year and next year, although Jamie Whincup, his owner, said they won't stand in his way if he wants to leave early. But most of the people in Australia don't understand the charter system here, and that he needs to have a chartered ride, and that the payout for teams that are not chartered just isn't worth it for the owners. A lot of people are wondering how much he made in this race. Nobody really knows. It was probably a salary, would be my guess. Probably not a percentage of the winnings. Could have been, but from what we've been told, the winning percentage for non-chartered teams is very low. Otherwise, someone like Dale Jr. would have a team and just be entering it in, but it's just financially not worth it for him. So it'd be my guess. I don't know if Trackhouse goes out and buys another charter, leases a charter, whatever, to get him in with them. I'd assume that would be the first choice for everybody involved, although he's saying his phone's been ringing off the hook, no substantial offers yet. But he also needs to step into a ride that's the top tier. He can't be stepping into the bottom third of the point standing right now. He's got to be mid up, is my opinion. As SHR, Gibbs, Hendricks, potentially a Childress, Trackhouse, one of these teams. I don't foresee him being able to get into one of the Rick Ware Racing or someone like that and being able to be competitive to where he needs to be at. So he's incredible. Like I said, been my favorite driver down there for a while. I used to have Super View, which is how we here in America can watch their races live. But the races are on at like 2, 3 in the morning, so it kind of got a little bit difficult for me to stay awake to watch them. So, huge fan of that. He deserves all the accolades he gets. He is that talented, but he had to earn it. He had to adapt to a new car, a new track, which everybody was adapting to a new track in that case. Limited amount of time on the sims and things like that as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they bring him back for a one-off in an oval, something manageable like the mile-and-a-half tracks. Would be fun to see him in. Short track, the Martinsville, Bristol, would be, man, it'd be pretty rough. Although I think he would love it. He does have experience in 410 sprints, the wing sprint cars. He's a rally driver. He does open wheel stuff like Indy looking type cars. He has done 24 Hours of Le Mans type style races. He's been at Daytona, he said 5 or 6 times, doing those 24-hour endurance races, GT racing. He's got a wide, history of experience. So it'll be fun to see where he's at. So I'm going to do more of these videos here, probably coming to you from Pennsboro Motor Speedway. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you thought of the Chicago street race. I loved it from top to bottom. Didn't matter if Shane had won or not. It was still exciting. My heart rate on my watch got up to 115 beats per minute just sitting there in the last 10 laps watching all that unfold. So let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.